Well, of course, the whistle from the center referee goes and action kicks off right here at the Juba National Stadium. It is a derby of the EL-MERRIEKH name. We have two sides from two different sides of the country. EL-MERRIEKH FC from Bentiu, of course, dressed in all red, will be up against EL-MERRIEKH FC of Renk. And of course, the two teams share much of the same history. You think all the day go back to the old Sudan, where EL-MERRIEKH was one team, and of course, its associates breaking away to create their own brand right about there. But of course, today is more than just the brand EL-MERRIEKH itself, but of course, it will be all about securing a spot in the semifinals of the National South Sudan Cup, proudly brought to you by Zain South Sudan. And of course, this will be the last quarterfinal match rather. We've had 3 quarterfinal matches already, and of course, the teams will be looking at securing a semifinal spot before one team can be crowned champions of this particular edition. You, of course, know EL-MERRIEKH FC Renk are putting on red, meanwhile EL-MERRIEKH FC of Bentiu are putting on yellow. Now, looking at the players on the pitch for both teams, EL-MERRIEKH FC of Renk have Zakaria Peter doing shirt number 12. There's Mohammed Al Mustafa putting on shirt number 21. There is Ahmed Abakar putting on shirt number 8. There is Adam Musa putting shirt number 2. Rudwan Nasir putting on shirt number 11. Number 17 is Kurdau. There's Birer Al Tahir putting on shirt number 7. Majid Hamid putting on shirt number 15. Sadiq Al Samani putting on shirt number 3. And there's Samuel Othong. And of course, Musa Fadul completing. That is the first 11. Here's an opportunity for EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu. It's our first passed back by, that is Nelson Victor. He's known to mean as Monday. And of course, Bentiu side lose possession now. Here comes the Renk side. EL-MERRIEKH of course, Renk trying to, of course, beat. And of course, a long foot comes in right there, very high. And of course, a foul is committed. Free kick is awarded to EL-MERRIEKH FC of Renk. Having looked at the starting 11 for EL-MERRIEKH Renk, looking at the starting 11 for EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu, there's Daniel Magot putting on shirt number 16. Paul Puk, of course, known to me as Triple P. Atir Thomas, there's Omar Sebit, Sharif Omar Ramkel Lok, Rehan Anger, finally starting a game. Here's a free kick for EL-MERRIEKH Renk, a long one into the area, headed away by Atir Thomas. Kuiza, it's a run in right there, but of course, Nelson Victor fails to keep it in play. Throw in for EL-MERRIEKH Renk. Here comes the Sudanese international, Ahmed Abakar, turns it down the left. EL-MERRIEKH Renk still continue to maintain position. And of course, it is another Mohammed Al Mustafa. They make a way just around the edge of the area. But of course, a long ball goes back to the goalkeeper. That is Magot. He clears. Can it be kept in play? Yes, it is. And of course, an opportunity. Chan, probably the tallest player on the pitch, beats his marker. And of course, maintains position. There's Rehan Anger right there. There will be no rush. They get back home. Where's this Pal? Pal takes a long ball back to Atir Thomas. Atir Thomas already has Omar Sabit running, but of course goes back home to Pal. Pal sends it to Ramkel. Ramkel sends it down the right. Where's the Zrian? They simply, of course, are taking their time. They would want to settle. They would want to dictate the game. And of course, on paper, they look for much a better squad. As the referee says, it's out of bounds. Throw in for EL-MERRIEKH Renk. It's a long one in right there. And of course, Ahmed Abakar goes down. And referee says, play on. Advantage is awarded. And Nelson Victor squeezes the ball in right there. Machan. And first goal comes in right there for EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu. Chan David Majak is steered on right there by Nelson Victor. And of course, he makes no mistake. He beats. That is Zakaria Peter to get the first goal of the game. And it's EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu 1, EL-MERRIEKH Renk 0. A whole lot of work to do for the Renk side. They are the underdogs in this particular game. Goes on paper, but in the field, they will have a whole lot of work to do to prove otherwise. They have possession just around the center circle. How much will they do with these? It's, of course, taken away quickly. Now Bentiu side will basically decide on what to do next with it. Rian, of course, has been drifting from the side into the midfield. We think it's where he basically would want to identify himself, just like Trent Alexander-Arnold, the English international who plays for Liverpool. Pretty much a right back, has played as a right wing back, and of course on a number of occasions played as a midfielder. Of course, too much energy right there. Of course, commits a foul. It's going to go the way of EL-MERRIEKH. It's going to be a long ball right there for EL-MERRIEKH. Renk swings one in, headed away by Pal. But of course, beautifully controlled. That is by Rudwan Nasser. He dispossessed, and EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu are on the run. Chan squeezes a long ball in right there. Beautifully does it with the side of the boot. Not a trivela as such, but of course, the skill behind it and the accuracy is one for the books. Bentiu side finally dispossessed, and of course, a foul is committed to go the way of EL-MERRIEKH. Don't you forget, this tournament is proudly sponsored by Zain South Sudan. Of course, the best telecommunication company in the country. You can simply get yourself a Zain SIM card and be able to enjoy a variety of services, including making calls at the cheapest rates possible. You could as well stream games like this on your mobile phone at the comfort of your office or home with its, of course, a cheap internet rates. Here comes Nelson Victor, dings a ball down the right. An opportunity for a cross area for EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu is brought into the area, but of course, it's protected and goes out of play. Going to be a goal kick for EL-MERRIEKH. A simple start to live for EL-MERRIEKH. Forced to make a long clearance, looking for Rudwan Nasser, but of course, couldn't just get to it. Here comes EL-MERRIEKH. 2-on-1, goes down, and that foul is committed. And of course, the free kick is awarded to the Renk side, dispossessed. Here comes Ssd. Passing 1-2 between themselves. Atiri Thomas going back home. Finds that is the number 6. Of course, Alamin Said. Said gives it back home to Pal. Pal sends it down the right. There's of course Rihan awaiting. Back to Pal. Pal takes a long one to find Atir on the left. Atir Thomas. Atir takes a long swipe. Ssd is simply following closely. Meanwhile, Monday. Ssd gives it to Monday. Just into the center half. Of course, a simple soft ball right there. Could be dangerous for, that is EL-MERRIEKH. Chance! Bust the net for his second goal. It is, of course, a show for Chan David Majak. He's simply having fun. Beats one defender, sends him the wrong way before sending a rocket into the top of the corner. And it is, of course, EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu 2, EL-MERRIEKH 0. It's going to be quite a nightmare for the Renk side should they not put their pieces together before it gets out of hand. There they go again. The Renk side are yet to have an attempt on target, and they are already 2 goals down. Makes the run. Foul is committed. Monday is the culprit, but of course, he's going to be lucky enough to get away without a card. Free kick for EL-MERRIEKH. Too much energy behind that ball right there from Chan. Simply too hard for the goalkeeper to stop. But of course, here comes the Renk side. A free kick into the area. Too many people. And of course, Pal flies highest And of course, heads it away. Chan takes a long ball down the right. It's kept in play. Another cross looking for Chan. Chan, he fails to control on the first attempt. And of course, ball goes all the way. It's going to be a throw in for EL-MERRIEKH. Of course, restarting the throw. Not too many passes complete right there. It's a 1-2 and a long ball up front. And simply picked up by Pal. Pal finds Atiri Thomas. Atiri Thomas. Omot Sebit. Omot Sebit. Omot Sebit finds Mande. Mande finds Ramkel Lock. Ramkel back to Pal. Pal finds Rian Anger on the right. And of course, it's taken away. It's going to be a little bit of a run. Pal intercepts and, of course, gets the ball back in for Bentiu. And, of course, this could be dangerous. Long ball down the left. Omot Sabit is there to receive. Can he get it? Not quite. And, of course, Bentiu side have the possession. Chan gets in right there again. Tries to beat his man. But, of course, he comes in fully loaded. Launches himself at the feet of the attacker. And of course, here comes the Bentiu side through Musa Fadul. Fadul. Ramkel. A long ball down the right. Bentiu pretty much relaxed now. They know they're in control. They're dictating the flow and the tempo of the game, especially through Fadul and Ramkel, who are sitting in that very particular midfield. They have, of course, the support of Nelson Victor Elia, who, of course, plays as a number 10 in this very particular game. On the flanks, you have the services of Rian Anger and Omot Sebit. So basically, you think this is a very stacked up team. These are players with a wealth of experience, of course, playing for the national team. Omot Sebit, Chan David has played for the national team as well. Pal has been an integral part of the South Sudan national team. Atiri Thomas captained the side on a number of occasions. Rian Anger as well, played for under 20 and under 23. And of course, you think all these players and the wealth of experience could literally play a very, very big role in deciding this very particular game. The Renk side now have possession, and of course we want to settle it at every given opportunity. Dispossessed. Of course, they win it back. The foul is committed. A free kick is awarded to Bentiu. Started quickly. Finding Omot on the left, who is already flying. But of course, the referee calls for the free kick to be retaken. We have seen so many goals being scored in this South Sudan Cup. Perhaps today might just be one of those days where we will witness another thumping. Yesterday, of course, Jamus managed to put 7 past Majak Achwang. Will that be the case today? Well, of course, a little bit of anxiety would keep us through to that very particular moment. But of course, here is Bentiu, who are in total control of the game. Of course, pass the ball out of bound, and it's going to be a throw-in for Renk. A long ball up front. It's taken quickly for, that is Bentiu. Of course, it's given away 3 yellow shots in the opposition area. So, of course, taken easily. Fadul, who, of course, gives to Ramkel. Ramkel takes a long one down the right. Rian awaits. And, of course, Ramkel. What's going to do? Dinks a little ball in right there. Tries to find Chan, who is already chasing a hat-trick. But of course, it is intercepted just along the way. It's a beautiful ball right there, down the right. What can you do? Shot! This is going to be catastrophe for EL-MERRIEKH. The goalkeeper is looped not very far from his area. And it is goal number 3 for Bentiu. I say this could be just another thumping. And trust me, this is no stipulation. This is no spoiler alert. I am basically telling you, it's going to happen. The teams are going to the sides for a cooling break. And trust me, this could come in handy for EL-MERRIEKH. They will need to get their heads together before they completely lose it. 3 goals in the first 20 minutes is 1 and not for smiles. Well, to many, it is said the pot always breaks at the door. But in this very particular situation, you think for EL-MERRIEKH, the pot is simply not breaking at the door. Looks like that's broken down just at the river. Here is another opportunity for EL-MERRIEKH. It's Chan! Of course, the assistant referee comes to the rescue of EL-MERRIEKH. Simply raises his flag and avoids goal number 4 for EL-MERRIEKH and goal number 3 for David Majak Chan. They simply give it away. Alter Thomas for EL-MERRIEKH. Omot Sabit finds a Fadul. His long ball is simply going to go out begging. Throw in for EL-MERRIEKH. Ogu is extremely demoralized. The Renk side of Guiza would simply be looking to see out the remaining 74 minutes of this particular game. They have so far played around 17, and you think that's a very long way to go. Here comes EL-MERRIEKH. They send the ball home to Pal Paul. Pal finds Atir Thomas. Atir Thomas finds Mande. Back to Atir. Atir backs to Pal. Pal finds Rian. There's Fadul on the left, but he goes up front. It's forward always, backwards never. It's a long one. Chan comes in, but of course goalkeeper takes it away. Now can they do something? Can EL-MERRIEKH be able to build on this and try to threaten? That is EL-MERRIEKH. It's a long ball back home to, that is Magot. You can take, that is Ahmed Abubakar's runs for granted. You think of all the 11 players of EL-MERRIEKH on the pitch. You think he has been the only person putting efforts. He's tried to press, though that's not going to be enough. It's a throw-in for EL-MERRIEKH. It's a long ball out front. One man up against 3 defenders. What can you do with that? Sends it back home a little bit. Well, of course, they try to maintain a bit of possession, but it's stolen. Kurdao and Birer Al-Tahir trying to create a little bit of composure for the Renk side. But of course, they quickly lost that possession. And here comes Bentiu. It's a long ball out front. And of course, a cross could simply follow in right now. It's a cross! And of course, inches wide. Goal kick for Renk. Well, apparently, it's not on the sides, it's actually in. It's not on the side, it's actually in. And it's goal number 4. Well, what a surprise that is. Literally did not see it coming. And of course, Luke Akech has gotten himself on the score sheet. Well, this is going to be really ugly. Monday pick up another possession for Bentiu. They're into the area. Can he shoot right there? Not quite. Beats his man. Maintains possession. Another opportunity for a cross. They could simply end this game in the first half. Opportunity for a shot! Goal number 5! Goal number 5 for Bentiu. This is catastrophe at its finest. What a disaster Renk are having here at the Juba National Stadium. It could even get uglier than this. The Juba National Stadium, I would say, has seen more goals than any other stadium in the world this week. A couple of days ago, Yeon Stars thumped Qatar women by 20 goals to nil right in this particular stadium. Qatar men team beat Korean 6 goals to 1. Jammus beat Korean 6 goals to 1. This morning, Simba women beat Qatar by 13 goals to nil. And in the first 20 minutes, Bentiu already 5 goals to nil. I mean, it's been a goals gala at the Juba National Stadium. Should it be your first time coming here, you should really be wary, because it looks like this is where goals are made and goals are distributed. Bentiu, Atir Thomas, taking his time. Ramkel Lok, Musa, Assad, Atir Thomas squeezes the ball in, dispossessed, but of course still Musa Fadul. Musa finds Pal. Pal goes up front. There's Monday, there's Rihan as well. Tough times for the EL-MERRIEKH. Well, too many passes right here. And this is just like one of those inter-class competitions where you have the seniors taking on the juniors. A typical example would be P6 versus P2. It's never a balanced equation. A long clearance right there for Renk. Now already 3 Bentiu players. Atir Thomas, Pal Paul, and of course Omar Sharif. The 3 men are masterminding the defense of the Mars. Here is Magot. Magot finds Atir Thomas. Atir Thomas takes his time, finds Omar Sabid. Omar Sabid back to Fadul. Fadul finds Atir Thomas. Atir keeps it in play and sends it back home to the goalkeeper Magot. Magot finds Pal. Pal to Sharif Omar. Sharif Omar to Fadul to Rihan Anger. Rihan finds Aluka Cage. Back to Rihan. To Aluk. To Rihan. To Aluk. To Rihan. Beautiful display of football right here for EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu. Taking that time, piece by piece. They're chopping it off. EL-MERRIEKH Renk. Here's Atil Thomas. Atil Thomas finds Ramkel. Fadul Rada. Fadul back to Atir. Atir back to Pal. Pal. Pal goes long. Beautiful control from Rihan. Rihan finds Mande. Mande sends one in there to Maja. Goal! Thumping at its best. At some point, you think I will stop shouting. It is indeed game over. The goalkeeper sits down and looks on, completely helpless. Of course, not just a mountain to climb for EL-MERRIEKH Renk, but of course, the chances of getting anything in this very particular game, least to talk about a comeback or a victory, are slimmer than the chances of a horse passing through the eye of a needle. Trust me, they say going to heaven is as hard as the horse passing through the eye of the needle. I would say the chances of EL-MERRIEKH Renk getting something out of this is even harder for a horse to pass through the eye of a needle. Hard times for the Renk side, and could still get worse. Clearance. Of course, they try to get in right there. What can they do? Will they be able to get a consolation? Goes down. Referee has something to say. Action continues. It is, of course, the man that is Ahmed Abakar. I'll say a little bit earlier on, he's a very good player, just in a wrong team at the moment, I would say. I'm not saying EL-MERRIEKH Renk are a bad team, but say at the moment they are a very bad team. Of course, their front three haven't enjoyed the game. Samuel Othong, Rudwan Nasir, and Abakar Ahmed. Here comes Magot, finds Pal. Pal has a tear to the left, has Fadul in front of him, gives it to Mande. gives it to, that is, of course, simple passes right there for Merrick. Very positive. A long one from Ahmad Sabit to find a look. Too much space for the Bentiu side. And of course, completing as many passes as possible. Oh, can he hit right there? Not quite. And of course, a clearance comes in right there for, that is a Merrick Renk. Abakar. Ahmed Abakar. B is another player. B is another one. And of course, I said is the only player making strides. Rudwan Nasser. His pass is simply grabbed by Pal. Pal finds Fadul. Fadul to Rihan, to Ramkel, to Monday, to Rihan, Rihan to Fadul. And of course, too many passes for, that is the Renk side to even count or even try to counter. For the first time, all the players of Merrick Renk are on the side of Merrick Bentiu. This right here is already progress for them. It's a long ball back home. Goalkeeper controls and sets it rolling through number 21. That is Mohammed Al-Mustafa. Al-Mustafa. Of course, a double foot tackle right there. And of course, fortunate enough not to have caught anyone. It's a throw in for Merrick Renk. Headed out front by Rudwan Nasser. Picked up by Pal, who finds that is Rian Anger, who drops deep into central defense. And of course, Merrick Bentiu, Rihan to Ramkel. And there's Atil Thomas. Atil Thomas to Omar Sevit. Omar Sevit to Ramkel Lock. To Atil Thomas. Thomas sends it back home. It's picked up by Fadul. Fadul sends it to the goalkeeper, Magot. Daniel Magot finds a Pal. Pal to Fadul. Back to Pal. Back to Pal. Fadul to Pal. Pal back to Fadul. And finally to the goalkeeper, Daniel Magot. Magot finds a Thomas. Atir Thomas back to Daniel. Daniel Magot back to Thomas. Out of bound. Throw in for Merrick Renk. It's a long ball back. And of course, shot number 3. As Sadiq Al-Samani. Sending it back home right there. Headed away by Omar. And of course, Omar Sevit is no longer even defending. Is out front. Opportunity for Merrick Renk to get into the box for the first time. Can he shoot? Can he finish? Not quite. Opportunity for oh! Should have been a consolation right there for them. But it's missed. Still Merrick Bentiu 6. Merrick Renk 0. Trust me, of commentary, I would say them even getting close to that is enough to be recorded as a positive. Foul is committed. Free kick for Merrick Bentiu. Okuza, a simple pickup. And Okuza, control of the tempo of the game. You say is the biggest advantage for, that is Merrick Bentiu. They do know when and where to place the ball, when to release the ball for a chase, and when to get back home, and how to utilize those standing spaces. It's one thing that Merrick Renk are alien to. Now it's a long ball right there. It's a chase down the right, flank, brought in right there. But of course, a deflection follows, and of course, Merrick Bentiu still maintain possession. Beaten. Dangerous. This could be goal number 7. But of course, a beautiful tackle right there to win possession back for Merrick Renk. Trying to get out of the confinement. The long ball to find Daniel Magot for Merrick Bentiu. Gives to Pal Paul. Pal finds Fadul. Fadul finds Ramkel. Ramkel to Omot Sevid. Omot Sevid beats his marker. Omot beats his marker. That is Birer. Crosses the ball. But of course, it's everything to fight for still for Merrick Bentiu just at the edge of the box. Here comes a beautiful pass in. But of course, a flick is not enough to get the ball at the back of the net. And for the first time, the goalkeeper for Merrick Renk, Zakaria Peter, picks up the ball with his hands, not from the back of the net, but in the field of play. Merrick Renk will need to go into this game as soon as possible and perhaps do damage control. Just avoid conceding more goals. That's what you think they should be able to do right now. Otherwise, playing flat and trying to attack and, score would simply put them at risk. And of course, opportunity for a shot! Goes wide. And of course, the yellow card is produced right there. First of the game. Well, as you get to watch this live stream, do not forget to get yourself a Zain SIM card, because Zain has a variety of offers and promotions ongoing right now. You could simply be a participant and be able to win yourself up to 10 million subs to these pounds. So why wait? It could be you today. So take that chance and get yourself a Zain SIM card. Well, action continues from Juba National Stadium. And of course, the Zain South Sudan Cup. Here comes Merrick Renk. Opportunity for Kanel shoot right now. Kanel shoot, not quite blocked. Still Merrick Renk into the area. Has Omer to beat. But of course, Omer proves tough and wins possession back for Merrick Bentiu. Yes, Chan. David Chan Majak. Chan beats his marker. And of course, he's held. Free kick is awarded to Merrick Bentiu. Chan is one player who I would say to me plays exactly like Joshua Zirkzee, who plays for Manchester United. Very tall, not the fastest player of them all, but of course very, very gifted with the ball on his feet. It's very hard for you to win back because he would simply shake you off. He knows when to put his power and energy to advantage and when to use his head. That is the similarities, I would say, between Chan David Majak and Joshua Zirkzee. Of course, here comes Merrick Bentiu. They're looking for goal number 7. Could probably be the highest scored in first half for a South Sudan Cup game. It's everything to play for. A throw in for Merrick Bentiu. Can they cross that ball in right there? Terry Thomas. Terry Thomas is going through. No one to stop him. Gets him to Fadul. Gets a rolling shot! Goes across the face of goal. And that's going to be a goal kick. It started quickly. Just in the box. Still in their own yard. They're playing. It's of course Adam Musa and Mohammed Al Mustafa taking their time, trying to build on their confidence. Here comes Sadiq Al Samani into the middle of the pitch. Through that is Majid Hamid. Here comes Rudwan Nasser. Nasser beat his man. Beats Atlet Thomas. What can he do? Rudwan. Can he cross the ball? Doesn't cross. Of course, he's dispossessed. Here comes Omot Sevid. Omot Sevid. And of course, the ball goes back home right there to Paul Puk. Omar Sharif, Riaranger, Fadul, Monday, Pal, Atir, The long ball up front. Madid is already there. Majak crosses the ball. Let's go, number 7. He's not only scoring but assisting as well. That is David Chan Majak. I said earlier on, this could be the highest goal scoring game in the history of Ssd Cup. The fans are already leaving the stadium. The fans are already leaving the stadium. They say it is over. They say there's absolutely nothing to watch. And I would agree with them 100%. There's absolutely nothing more to watch, especially if you're a fan of EL-MERRIEKH. It is, of course, an absolute thumping, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Now here comes a Nasir. Rude one. Crosses the ball in there. Of course, swayed away. Trying to get out. But of course, great defending right there. Kurdao in the box right there trying to make amends. EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu. It's a long ball. Looking for Omot Sawit. Goes out of play. It's going to be a throw in for Renk. Here comes Abakar. Abakar beats his man. Pal wins a free kick for EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu. Pal gives it to Sharif Omer. It's Monday. Fadul. Ramkel. Back to Pal. To Atir Thomas. Atir Thomas. To Ramkel. Ramkel. Ramkel lock. Finds Chan. Chan. Finds Fadul. Takes a long one down the right. It's a run for the Aza Rehan Anger. Cross. Money! That's goal number 8. And Chan Madid. Chan David Majak is cooking. Well, that's probably a great one right there. It's worth celebrating. It's definitely a disastrous game for EL-MERRIEKH. It's one they've never seen coming, but it's one they will have to deal with. Very disappointing display for them. And of course, we'd want to say kudos to EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu for being clinical in front of goal, putting every opportunity into good use, and grabbing as many goals as possible. Take it or leave it. Should they be consistent at shooting at goal, I'm seeing the slightest opportunity of anything close to the record set by Yejon Stars, beating Qatar women team by 20 goals to nil. I believe it's a possibility. It can be done by EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu, especially in this game. For some reasons, I do believe the fans of Merrick Bentiu are no longer even celebrating the goals. And of course, that will be the end of first half. A record 8 goals to nil. It is in the quarterfinals of the Zain South Sudan Cup. We'll go in for the break and come for the final 45 minutes. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming you back for the second half. And of course, the final 45 minutes of this very particular quarterfinal. A tie between EL-MERRIEKH FC Bentiu and EL-MERRIEKH FC Renk. Of course, it's a Greater Upper Nile derby. And of course, it's a EL-MERRIEKH named derby. Unfortunately, this game has not lived up to the expectations of a derby, as it is entirely one-sided, with EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu walloping EL-MERRIEKH Renk by 8-0 in the first half, with of course David Chan Majak being the man of the first half, completing his hat-trick. Guza EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu right there with 3 substitutions. They know they will have a semi-final tie to play up against a Will United, and of course the other semi-final game, as things stand, it will be between Jamus FC of Juba and Gold Star FC of Rumbek. Otherwise, according to reports on social media, Koreum FC of Bor have submitted an appeal against Gold Star for fielding an eligible player, and of course, should they win that, then they could be the one to play. That is Jamus FC of Juba. Free kick is awarded to, that is EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu. Chan David Majak, of course, beating his marker right there, and of course he is dragged down. Shooter. That is EL-MERRIEKH Renk not open their eyes. Things could get worse for them. Of course, they started quickly. It's EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu, and no longer in a rush. They're going to be taking their time. Fadul. And of course, the new man right there introducing himself. But of course, they'll be forced to fall back and try to build afresh. That is EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu. Rihan Anger swings one, finds third mate. The opportunity for a cross right there. Of course, they do not cross. They will take their time to get in right there. The ball is being contested for. But of course, EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu win all of it. Nothing to fight for. Fadul sends it down the left, finds Omot Sebit. Omot Sebit doesn't cross, sends it back to Fadul. Fadul gives it to Atel Thomas. Atel Thomas back to Fadul. Fadul finds Rihan Anger, who has dropped in to be the holding midfielder now. Rihan Anger. Rihan is awaiting. Yes, he receives Rihan Anger. It's a long one back home. Finds Pal. Pal finds Rihan. Rihan gives it to. It's a cross. And of course, it's taken away by the goalkeeper, Zakaria Peter. Of course, they missed the ball right there for Pal. But of course, finally he wins it back. And of course, they have the numbers. Here is Rihan Anger. Rihan sends it on the left, finds Omot Sebit. Omot pulls the trigger, but that is released it. Sends it back to Rihan. And here comes Rihan. Rihan Fadul. Fadul back to Rihan. And finally, they get Ater involved. Rihan Anger still shaking his man off. And finally does that. Of course, try to get the ball in right there. And dispossessed. EL-MERRIEKH Renk. Yet to make anything of the possession. Here's an opportunity. Chan is off. He's going in. And of course, he is tackled. And possession is won back for EL-MERRIEKH Renk. Here comes offside call right there from the first assistant referee. Great one right there. So stop times for the is EL-MERRIEKH Renk. EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu are looking for goal number 9. Meanwhile, EL-MERRIEKH are looking for a consolation. Dynamics to this particular game. Two completely different sides of the coin. Can they get a cross in? Deflected, but still maintain possession. A simple ball is laid in right there, but of course, Pal is just too tough to beat. For that is Kurdao who gets dispossessed, and of course, Bentiu are off to rebuilding. That is an attack of their own. A lot of work to do for Bentiu, who have simply tried to relax. They're not interested in scoring any more goals. They're just simply playing it back at home. And of course, it's going to prove tough for that is Renk to be able to catch up with. Here's a long ball into the area. Offside call from the first assistant referee. Let's start quickly. Here's the number 12. I'm talking about throw in for EL-MERRIEKH. And of course, they have the numbers right there at the back. Majid Hamid. Wazilu to Peter. Peter to Mohammed Al-Mustafa. Al-Mustafa takes a long one down the right. Double substitution being prepared for EL-MERRIEKH. Of course, Peter will be making way. Of course, triple substitution right there for EL-MERRIEKH. Well, of course, I think these substitutions get them a consolation, because it's definitely what they will be fighting for. Fadul for Bentiu. Sends it to find Ateru Thomas. Thomas to Ahmad Sabit. Back to Ateru Thomas. Thomas swings the ball in right there. But of course, it's straight off the danger zone. It's going to be a throw in for Bentiu. A long throw from Ahmad Sabit to find Ateru Thomas. Ateru Thomas finds Ahmad Sabit, rather Rehan Anger, who finds Ahmad Sabit on the left. Ahmad Sabit ready for a cross. Beats his marker. Can Ahmad bring the ball in? Not quite, is beaten. And of course, a possession in all for EL-MERRIEKH. A long ball down the left. Out of bound. Throw in for Bentiu. And of course, Bentiu quickly reclaim possession. It's a long ball to Fadul, and he manages to control. And of course, a long ball in right there. Majak could, of course, score another one. The goalkeeper fumbles, but finally picks it up. Shot, but of course goes wide. Substitution for Bentiu. Jack James is coming on. Artir Thomas being substituted right there. Of course, here comes Bentiu, who are looking for goal number 9. Of course, being stopped by Renk, who are looking for consolation. Of course, is fouled, gets a card, definitely. The referee plays it cool and of course gives him a warning. It's a long ball right there, could be a good chase for Renk. Can they get a consolation here? Of course, Pal says not in my watch. Comes in big with a clearance right there. Throw it for Renk. They set it off quickly. And of course they're getting the numbers up front. And they finally get something to celebrate. And finally, back in there is Othong, who gives the ball away. And Chan comes in right there for Bentiu. And of course, he wins the throw. Takes it to Omot Sevit. Omot takes a long one back home. Pal pulls it down right there. Lad. Omot. Omot finds Rian. Rian finds Majak. Back to Omot. Omot to Todd. To Lad. Back to Omot. Omot to Pal. Pal sends it down the right. Of course, you could simply come to terms that this is definitely a league too good for. That is Renk. This is completely a different level to what they had. That is in their group stages in Renk. Group C. You think they didn't have any players of this caliber over there, and of course the level of the competition could simply be overwhelming for them to maintain. Of course, long ball down the left. Can Omojo keep it in play? Omojo goes down. Omojok Lual came in as a substitute. Of course, having a word with the referee. And of course, as you go about your day, I want to remind you the South Sudan Cup is proudly sponsored by Zain. And of course, with this sponsorship comes with a variety of opportunities. With Zain, you can win up to 10 million. In their currently ongoing promotion, you just need to buy a new SIM card or activate your old SIM card, and you could simply just be in with that. I also want to remind you, aside from the competition where you could win millions of pounds, you could as well enjoy a variety of services from Zain, including making calls at the cheapest rates, and most importantly, surfing the internet, including streaming games like this at the comfort of your living room or office at the cheapest rates and the clearest network in the country. It's going to be a throw-in for Bentiu. Goes back home to, that is Fadul. Gives it to Daniel. A little bit of a risk for us right there, but of course they have gotten off the danger zone. And of course here comes the progress for Bentiu. David takes it home to find the shirt number, of course 12. That is of course Phil James. Bentiu. Kuza will be taking their time. But technically, this is entirely work done and dusted for them. They should probably be thinking about the semi-finals now, or probably the finals too. Of course, going against a Will United with the display they had a little bit earlier on. You think on paper, EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu is a better side. The goalkeeper sways it off. It's going to be a goal kick. It's Zakaria with his first test right there. Not the best of them all, but of course, for a minute, he will have his team together as EL-MERRIEKH will go for their corner kick. Started simply and a cross in right there, controlled. Chan is caught offside. Tough times for the Renk side. They start a simple one just in the edge of the box. And Okuza could simply go all the way. Here comes Abakar. Abakar takes a long one down the left. It's kept in play. Long one up front. Can it be this marker? Not quite, not really. Pal. And of course his compatriots at the back are not entertaining any nonsense despite being up by 8-0. Of course, that would tell you this team has no room for jokes and would want to win it at all costs, and with a clean sheet. They want to have Daniel Magot have a clean sheet. I think he's been a very, very instrumental goalkeeper since he signed for the team. And I would say the future is in safe hands with him. With, of course, Shuma Gennaro up for retirement in not more than 3 seasons. You think Magot could simply handle the duties with so much responsibility. Here comes EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu looking for goal number 9. It's a long ball in right there. Can it be kept down? Yes, it kept. Shot! Out by a couple of inches. And it's a goal kick for Renk. Zakaria. Just in the box as well. Most times you expect teams under pressure like this to be going long, but it's a complete opposite for EL-MERRIEKH. And that tells you did not believe in pressure. They know pressure is not for teams like them. They say pressure is for the tires, and they continue to play from the back. EL-MERRIEKH will have so many lessons learned from this very particular game and stories to tell when they go back to Renk. And of course, there's Abakar standing right there on the ball. He could be the man to take that. And there's of course Samuel Othong as well. I do not know who will be taking that. Well, Abakar walks away. Looks like Samuel Othong will be taking that for the team. Oh, of course, EL-MERRIEKH. Samuel! Punched away by Daniel Magot. That is the first attempt on target. Yes, you heard me right. That is the first attempt on target for EL-MERRIEKH. And of course comes in from Samuel Othong. And of course here comes EL-MERRIEKH. Could you say this could be the beginning of good things for them? I do not know. They are dispossessed right away. And here comes EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu. With agitation, you could think they could come on to score more. Dispossessed. Here comes EL-MERRIEKH. Going on. Dispossessed. And of course, EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu now trying to break away. It's a long ball. Looking for Johanna. Johanna controls it. And of course, they are going up front. Dispossessed. No foul committed. Referee says a play on. There's a bit of contact, but of course you still have it. So yes, continue with the play. And of course they're able now to pass the ball around with confidence, which I think is a good thing for them. They're still going on, and finally dispossessed. Here comes Bentiu. This could be an opportunity for them to get goal number 9. Omot Sebit sends the ball in. It's a low ball. Shot! Punched away by Zakaria. All work of lot to do. Yes, Jack James. Johanna. Majak is of course prevented from going in right there. And it will be a goal kick for EL-MERRIEKH. At least you think there's a little bit of competition. You think the substitute have really done the team a lot of good. A clearance for the first time for them. And of course they have possession. And they give away the possession. This could be dangerous. This could be another goal for Chan. Crosses the ball. And of course, lucky enough, they get it off the danger area. And of course, Renk are simply growing in confidence, which I think is a good thing for football lovers, as opposed to those that already left the stadium because they think it was one-sided affair, which was true. But right now, as much as Renk is not threatening, they are able to complete at least 5 passes together, which of course is a good thing. Here comes Bentiu. Johanna. Of course they give it away. A Fadul. Yes, Fadul for Renk. Abui Chol. And of course they get a job done. Fadul again. Fadul. Abakar. And of course the ball does not get to Abakar. This could be dangerous for them. This could be goal number 9. Can he get the ball to his target? Beats 2 players. Beats 2 players again. Can he shoot? Here's the crosswalk. And of course the clearance is a very soft one. The ball still in play. Johanna. Goal! Beautiful work right there from Johanna. Goal number 9 for Bentiu. Of course, you think this particular team grew in confidence and were able to string a few passes together, and in fact were able to get a fast shot on target. But yes, what a good space that Johanna created for himself, and what a great goal that was. Simply went for the top right corner, where of course Zekira couldn't get to, and of course he got his first goal. And 9th for Bentiu. Free kick. Free kick is awarded to Renk. Another foul is committed. And the free kick is awarded. Chan is still hungry. He still wants more. A simple one. Abakar for Renk. Abakar finds Rudwan Nasser. Cross, but of course taken away by the goalkeeper, Daniel Magot. They'll continue with their progress down the left. Bring it into the middle of the park. Where is Pal to Rihan. Rihan finds Johanna finds Jack James, who sends it back home. Pal to Rihan. And of course slowly but surely, Bentiu have been cooking and have been building. It's a long ball down the left. Can he keep it in play? A very big question. Yes, he does. That is third mid. There's going to be a corner kick for Bentiu. Will they be able to get that number 10? It's a cross, but of course blocked. Still everything to play for. It's in play. To Ssd. Here comes the ball into the area. Put out of play. Corner kick for Bentiu. Ssd's cross. Cleared away from danger. And here comes Omojok Lual. Nice work from Abakar. Abakar finds space, puts the ball in there. Great player by all standards. I think if there are agents and teams that need players, of course you didn't think it would be wise for that is Abakar to go back to Renk. I think he could fit into at least 80% of the teams in the Premier League. Trust me, he's a great player. I know good player when I see one. And definitely Abakar suits that description. Ahmed Abakar is the name. And I think he's a great player. Here comes Bentiu. Pal gets away with that delayment. Who is that? Mahmoud being involved with the one touch position right there. You're able to see statistics on your screen. You will think the possession gap is very wide and huge. And of course here comes Majak. Tries to tease, that is Ajak James on. But of course it's taken away. And of course Johanna swings in right there, commits a foul. It's going to be a free kick for Renk. Here they go, Renk. Of course, Ahmed Abakar is coming to assist. Another foul is committed. Fadul has it quickly. Omojok, could they get their goal? Offside call from the second assistant referee. There they go. We'll have no time to waste. And of course they get the ball rolling. Here comes opportunity for them to get goal number 10. It's a long one down the right. It of course keeps it in play. Can it cross? Oh, cross! And of course it's at the back of the net. But of course an offside call comes in from the first assistant referee. There they go. Renk taking the ball back into the penalty spot where there are too many people. But of course fortunate enough to get out of the danger zone. Can they go on and get a consolation? Dispossessed. And here comes Bentiu. Beautiful control from Totmet. Totmet checks two players off. There's a opportunity for goal number 10! And it is sealed. It is signed and stamped. It's official. Bentiu 10. Renk 0. And of course here comes of course Renk. Fadul sends it back home. They have no interest in going on to attack Bentiu because they know it's not going to yield any fruits anyway. Like I said a little bit earlier on, they should be able to do damage control. That is just avoid sending balls away, avoid losing possession, try to relax and be able to maintain possession for as long as you can, so you can avoid conceding goals, which I think is one thing they have not yielded. I think they wanted to get back into the game despite going down 8 in the first half, and I think that's won them 2 more goals, which has made it 10. Here comes Bentiu through the goalkeeper, Daniel Magot to Pal Paul. Pal Paul Puk sends it to Omod, save it. Omod back to Pal, back to Omod, to Daniel Magot. Daniel Magot taking his time, because he's going to make run down the left. Finds Johanna. Johanna puts into the middle of the park. Jack James being involved right there. And of course, Philip James. Philip James. And sends it back home to Daniel Magot. Taking no time at all. Here comes Rian Anger. Rian dispossessed. Here comes Ahmed Abakar. And of course, Renk coming back home. It's the number 21, Mohammed Al-Mustafa. Al-Mustafa and Zakaria. Bentiu could find their number 11 goal. There's Jack James waiting. Jack James goes down. And of course, comes Renk. Fadul sends it down the right. Well, of course, it's just going to be another moment for them having the ball before they simply lose it. Al-Mustafa. Al-Mustafa. Omojok. Omojok is dispossessed. Here comes Johanna. To Rian. Back to Johanna. Johanna finds space. And of course, Philip to Pal. Pal to Rian. Rian. He squeezes the ball in right there. Lucky enough, it's taken away from the danger area. For that is EL-MERRIEKH. Goes down. That is Abui Chol. Sends it back home to the goalkeeper Zakaria. Zakaria plays on Al-Mustafa. And of course, they continue to hang on until the final whistle comes. You think there will be nothing more to lead? They have lost this Robertuga tie already before the final whistle. So why not? If not, they're going to play on anyway. Substitution for that is EL-MERRIEKH. 2 players. That will be, of course, Samuel Othong, who had their only chance on target, making way with number 11, that is Rudwan Nasser. Will both be making way right there for that is EL-MERRIEKH from Renk. Meanwhile, coming on will be Simon Fadet Lual and Jidu Abakar Isa. Jidu Abakar Isa. Action goes on, and of course, Paul sends it back to the goalkeeper, Daniel Magot. Daniel finds a mode on the left. Of course, these are kind of times football fans across the world do not love to find themselves in, especially if you're the fan of the team that is on the losing side and there's no glimpse of hopes that you'll be able to get anything, not even a consolation. Back home to Magot. It's a long one. To the center of the cycle. Of course, a players like Chan, board up front, and a final coming back home to play as well. Looks like there's a tactical switch. They've been changing positions with Jack James, who as well is a very little striker. Dispossessed. Abakar. Against that is Simon Fidel Lual. Fast touch and dispossessed. Merrick Bentiu looking for their goal number 11. And finally cleared away from danger. It's picked up immediately is Rian Anger. Rian sends it down the left. Too many legs right there. It's a forest of legs, you would say. And finally goes down. A free kick will be awarded to Merrick Bentiu. Because the free kick foul is committed by Adam Musa. Well, hanging on until the final whistle is all they have left to do. Started quickly, shots the ball into the wall straight. And of course, Morsevit tried to stretch his leg as well by shooting from range. Here comes Renk. Still playing on. Disposes right away. Here comes Philip. Johan Rada sends it home to Saad. Here comes Abakar who is position for EL-MERRIEKH. Because the return pass does not get to him. That is from Abui Chol. Across from, of course, for goal number 11. Blocked by goalkeeper Zakaria. Of course, my Chan seems to have a great time beating. That is Omojok. Chan tries to send the ball in right there, and of course it is intercepted. Cleared away and picked up immediately from Merrick Bentiu. Shot right there, complete waste of time. Goes out of play. It's a goal kick. It's a long one right there. Trying to get away from the danger zone. Nukuza, Ahmad Abakar. Abakar's long ball right there, trying to find Chol. But of course, dispossessed. Daniel Magot for Merrick Bentiu. Magot. Back to Magot. And of course, here comes Philip. Rian, Philip. And of course, exchanging positions right there. This will simply be taken over by Zakaria, who just helped to avoid. That is the 11th goal of the game. He's going to go long. Looking for his only a player that is in the opposition half. That is Jidu Abakar Isa. He's dispossessed, and here comes Johanna for Merrick Bentiu. Finds Rian Anger. Rian back to Johanna. Johanna goes down, dispossessed by Omojok. Here comes Abakar. Ahmed Abakar finds his teammate, and here comes that is Abui Chol. Abui goes home to Mohammed Al Mustafa. Adam Mohammed is dispossessed. Here comes Merrick Bentiu. Beats 2 players. Opportunity for goal number 11. Beats another player. Still a long one right there, but of course goes out wide. Goal kick. EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu fans not pleased with how their team is wasting chances. It's either you score them or simply do not look like you're trying to score. That's what they say. It's like raising our nerves for a celebration and then you simply take it away. Omojok for Bentiu, Renk rather. And here comes Abu Chol. Abu Chol finds Abakar. Abakar squeezes it to Fadul. And of course, it's a long one down the left. It makes it through different players. Opportunity for them to get their second chance on target. Can they shoot right there? An offside call. And of course, Daniel Magot not taking any chances, so he picks it up. Dives in and picks the ball. He doesn't want any chances of the ball touching the back of the net, and then a debate ensues. They proceed on to play their short passes and then launch counters. That is EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu right there, playing all the combinations of football. And of course, they continue to possess, to torment, to haunt, to break, and to tear apart. That is EL-MERRIEKH Renk. They continue to play their possession based football, passing it one touch. Omod Sebit, Pal, a long one, and of course first to control the ball, and of course dispossess. There comes Muhammad Adam. Adam Musa rather, and of course is a run down the right. Opportunity for a goal for Renk Bayside, and of course can it go in? Is cleared off the line by opportunity. Can he shoot? Not quite. It is wasted. The consolation goal has been dealt a blow. 2 opportunities to get the ball across the line, but of course none was utilized, and it is still a 0 for them and 10 for EL-MERRIEKH from Bentiu. You could share the same name, but not the same abilities and not the same financial power, and that's exactly what the EL-MERRIEKH from Bentiu is showing EL-MERRIEKH from Renk right now. Here comes Ahmed Abakar, was falling in deep right there. Abui Chol, Abui finds Fadul. The long ball right there, it's wasted. It's going to be taken up by Daniel Magot. They're still going with Omod Sebit on the left, flying with the ball. Omod gives it to Majak. Majak still with the ball. He is dispossessed. And who's EL-MERRIEKH Renk will continue to progress. He has an opportunity. It's going to be a run. Could they be able to get their first goal right here? Shows the ball! And of course, it's a goal kick. Goal kick for EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu. And ladies and gentlemen, that will be the end of the game. EL-MERRIEKH Bentiu will be going to the semi-finals of the Ssd Cup, where they'll face a Will United from Northern Barra Gazal. The live commentary will come to an end. My name is the Disco 211, and thank you so much for following this particular game.